Now I'm going to discuss something about strategic management. Strategic management, it is the conduct of drafting, implementing, evaluating cross-functional decisions that will enable an organization to achieve a long-run objectives. It is a process of specifying the organization mission, vision, objectives, developing policies, plans, often in terms of projects and programs which are designed to achieve these objectives, then allocating resources to implement the policies and plans, projects and programs. So a balanced scorecard is often used to evaluate the overall performance of the business and the progress towards objectives. Strategic management is a level of managerial activity under setting goals and over tactics. Strategic management provides overall direction to the enterprise and closely related to the field of organizational study. Strategic management and its environment or strategic consistency, there is when the actions of an organization are consistent with the expectations of management, then in turn or with the market or and the context. Strategic management is an ongoing process. It evaluates, controls the business and industry in which the company is involved, assess its competitors, sets goals and strategy to meet all existing and potential competitors, then assess and reassess each strategy annually or quarterly or regularly to determine how it has been implemented and whether it has succeeded or needs replacement by a new strategy or a new economic environment to meet the changing circumstances, a new technology, new competitors, a new environment, or new social, financial, or political situations. Strategy formulated like a performing situation analysis, self-evaluation, competitors analysis, internal and external analysis, micro and macro environmental analysis. Concurrent with this assessment, objectives are set. Now, objectives are parallel to timeline and they are short-term and long-term. A grafting vision statement, long-term view of a possible future mission statement and role of the organization gives itself in the society, overall corporate objectives, financial and strategic, business objectives, financial and strategic, tactical objectives. So, the objectives should be in the light of situation analysis, such as a strategic plan. It provides a detail how to achieve the objective. There are 3 steps. Strategy process, sometimes referred where we are now and where we want to go, and then determining how to go there. So 3 questions are the essence of strategic planning. Strategy implementation. Allocation and management of sufficient resources, financial, personal, operational, support, time, technology. Now, establishing a chain of command. Some alternative structures, thus functional areas, assignment of responsibility to a specific task or a process to specific individual or groups. It also involves managing the process. This includes monitoring results, comparing to benchmark and best practices, evaluating efficacy, efficiency of the process, controlling for varieties and variances, making adjustments to a process as necessary. The strategy involves specific program, acquiring requisite resource, develop a process, testing, documentation, integration with legacy processes. Thus, when strategy implementation, there have been many problems arising, such as human relations and employee communication. Now, greatest implementation problem involves marketing strategy with emphasis on the appropriate timing of new products. An organization with an effective management should try to implement its plans without signaling the fact to its competitors. In order to frame a policy to work, there must be a level of consistency from every person in the organization, including the management. What it needs is a tactical level of management as well as a strategic employers. Now, strategy evaluation. Now, measure the effectiveness of this strategy. Extremely important to conduct of this SWOT analysis. Strength, weakness, opportunity and threats of the total entity as a question. Incorporate strategy, a model in which strategic options are evaluated against key success. Suitability means would it work? Feasibility, can it be made to work? Acceptability, will they work it? Now, suitability. Overall rationale of the strategy. It will consider whether the strategy would address the key strategic issues in an organizational strategic position. Does it make economic sense? Will the economies of scale or economies of scope or experience economy? Would it be suitable in terms of environmental or capabilities? Tools that can be used to evaluate suitability. Now, ranking of strategic options, decision tree, and tools that can be used to evaluate feasibility or cash flow forecasting, break-even analysis, resource deployment analysis. Now, acceptability. It is concerned with the expectations to be identified. Stakeholders, mainly shareholders, employees, customers. With the expected performance, customers and the stakeholder reaction. Now, return deals with the benefits expected by the stakeholders, financial, non-financial. Shareholders would expect to increase their wealth. Employees would expect to improve in their career. Customer would expect to better value their money. Now, risk with the probability. and consequences of the failure of a strategy. Now, stakeholder reactions deal with the anticipating the likely reaction of stakeholders. Now, shareholders could oppose the issuing of new shares. Employees and unions could oppose outsourcing for fear of losing their jobs. Customers could have concern over the merger with regard to quality and support. Tools that can be used to evaluate acceptability are what if analysis. Now, stakeholders mapping. Other approaches are industrial organization approach. This is based mostly on the economic theory. That is competitive rivalry, resource allocation, economies of scale. Now, assumptions are rationality, self-disciplined behavior, profit maximization. Now, sociological approach deals primarily with the human interactions. Assumptions are bounded reality, satisfying behavior, profit, and optimality. For example, a company that currently operates this way is Google. Now, strategic management technique can be viewed as bottom-up, top-down, or collaborative processes. Now, bottom-up approach means employees submit proposal to their manager. In turn, funnel the best ideas further up the organization. It is often accomplished by a capital budgeting process. Now, proposals are assessed using financial criteria such as return on investment or cost benefit analysis. Now, cost underestimation or benefit overestimation are the major sources of errors. The proposals that are approved from the subsistence of a new strategy, which is done without a grand strategic design or a strategic architect. So, top-down approach, it is most common by far. CEO, possibly with the assistance of strategic planning team, decides overall direction the company should take. And some organizations are starting to experiment with collaborative strategic planning techniques and recognize the emergent nature of strategic decisions. Now, what is a strategic hierarchy? In most of the organizations or corporations, several levels of management. Strategic management is the highest of all these levels in the sense that is the broadest, applying to all parts of the firm, while incorporating the longest time horizon. It gives direction to corporate values, corporate culture, corporate goals, and corporate missions. Under broad corporate strategy, there are typically business level competitive strategies and functional unit strategies. Corporate strategy. It refers to overarching strategy of a diversified firm. This strategy answers to questions: in which business should we be in? How does being in these business create a synergy and add to competitive advantage of a corporation as a whole? Now, business strategy. It refers to aggregated strategy of a single business firm or a strategic business unit. It is diversified corporation. Now, functional strategies are included marketing, new product development, human resource, financial strategy, legal strategy, supply chain strategy, and information technology management strategy. The emphasis is on short and medium term plans and is limited to domain of each departmental function's responsibility. Each functional department attempts to do its part in meeting overall corporate objectives, and hence, to some extent, their strategies are derived from broader corporate strategies. Now, many companies feel functional organizational structure is not efficient to recognize activities, so they are re-engineered according to the process of strategic business units. And semi-autonomous units are usually responsible for own budgeting, new product decisions, hiring decisions, price setting. So, a strategic business unit is treated as internal profit center by corporate headquarters. Now, additional level strategy. It is called operational strategy, which is encouraged by Peter Drucker in his theory, management by objectives. It is very narrow focus and deals with day-to-day operational activities such as scheduling criteria. It must operate within the budget and it is not at liberty to adjust or create the budget. So operational level strategies are informed by business level strategies, which in turn are informed by corporate level strategies. So some firms, they reverted to simpler strategic structure driven by advances in information technology. It is felt that knowledge management system should be used to share information and create common goals. Strategic divisions are thought to hamper this process. The notion of strategy has been captured under the rubric of dynamic strategy, popularly known as Carpenter and Sanders textbook. This work builds that Brown and Eisenhart as well as Christian and Porter from strategy, both business and corporate, necessary, embracing ongoing strategic change and seamlessly integration of strategy formulation and implementation. Such change and implementation are usually built into a strategy through the staging and pacing facets. Thank you.